dialing back. I'm just going to stick with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to, all right, April 2nd, Trump announced a huge package of what he's calling reciprocal tariffs for what he's also calling Liberation Day. There's a huge list. I think I have the list of all the countries that all the countries that he's giving tariffs to. There it is.
Well, there's a
I'm
90
going
day
to share that on screen. It's a huge list. There it is.
It's the biggest list.
Well, not anymore.
China. I'll get there. I'm going to get there. China, all these countries. Yep. See? Okay. So he's applying all these tariffs, basically saying
Luxembourg on there.
Côte d'Ivoire.
And some of them are as high as 84 on the initial tariffs up to all the way up to 104 on China. And then as low as 11% on DRC.
Does the European Union, that's several countries. He's not listing out like Spain and Portugal as individual countries. Like European Union is not like that's the entity or that's all the countries.
Israel got a 17% tariff. Philippines, 17% tariff. Zambia, 17%. So
he put Equatorial Guinea on there too, and Cameroon, DRC. DRC is 11%. Huh.
So you guys see the long list. I'm going to stop sharing. So then the stock market takes a little poo-poo. S&P, I checked it this morning. It's down 13.6 from all-time highs in January. The Russell 2000, which is like an index of smaller cap stocks, so smaller companies, it's down 24% from its highs. Wall Street goons are freaking out. Like they're going to crash the economy. As an example, Bill Ackman has been on an X rage pleading with Trump to reverse course, saying he will cause a stock market crash. Blah, blah, blah. Well, this morning he announced he's pausing all tariffs except for the ones on China. And he increased China's to 104%. Question for both of you. Whoever wants to take it first, I don't care. We're not Wall Street tycoons. Are these tariffs causing panic within your world?
My world? No, not at all.
I mean, I live in the world and it's causing panic. I mean, because I feel like I can make up a lot of what I looked at some of my accounts and God, they didn't feel good. So no, but at the same time, I would feel less if there were a clear strategy for tariffs. I think I would feel more confident about it. I mean, it went from tariffs are not negotiable to tariffs are here to stay to they're necessary to raise $1 trillion to tariffs already generating billions, and then now there's a 90-day pause, and so it's just like I don't know. And also, it's not just Wall Street tycoons. Municipal pensions and state pensions are invested heavily in the stock market too. So
true.
I mean, we're talking about average everyday people, and I keep going on Twitter, and they're like the like Rogan O'Hanleys and like these big accounts are cheering him on first and being like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, you suckers, the tariffs are great, blah, blah, blah. Then he rescinds it, and they're like, see, you didn't even see this coming. It's like, are you like really like? Are you guys? I have a lot to say about that.
Are you saying DC Drano's a fucking goon?
Your words, not mine.
The pensions are managed by Wall Street tycoons. They're not individually invested. The person. I'm wondering if you're hearing from normal people that they're like concerned about this. Those public employees you mentioned, I'm not hearing a lot of it. I also think
from people nearing retirement, I am not public employees, just people nearing retirement or in that realm of like, hey, I have this plan. I'm going to retire in 2 years. It's going to last me this long. From folks like that, I've heard concern, but not like nonstop chattering concern. But I've definitely heard it.
It's also been like a week, folks.
Yeah.
Give it some time. I mean, last time Trump had economic policy, to his credit, well, whether or not you think the stock market is a good measure, the stock market went bananas under the first Trump administration. And it's been a week since he instituted the tariffs. And on top of that, I don't want to hear anything from Wall Street people about crashing the stock market. Every one of our major stock market crashes were caused by not by tariffs, but by their gambling with various asset classes. So I don't really want to hear anything from them about stock market crashes. Fair. If you know what I'm saying.
Well, Sorry. Yeah, the line doesn't always go up. Sorry, I'm pretty sure that every single time that you've invested anywhere ever, they say that there's risk involved. So, yeah.
Well, but the line's going to go back up.
Line's going to go back up at some point. So I don't know. This is not financial advice. Invest at your own risk because it's risky, as they say. But maybe now's a good time to buy. I don't know.
Heck yeah.
So the line doesn't always go up, and stop freaking out. And you have an entire generation of people that they say will never be able to afford a home, and you're complaining about your retirement account losing 10% or something like that. Like, yeah, you kind of fucked up. Well, you fucked up generations by voting for these people time and time again, and they printed a bunch of money, and so now everything fucking sucks. So
printed and spent a bunch of money.
Look in the mirror.
And Trump is trying, whether he's doing it strategically or it's going to work, I don't know. But what he thinks he's trying to do is close the deficit by imposing tariffs on other countries who import goods here, charge them money, which gets passed on the consumer, and then he can close the gap. But that's a spending problem. And yes, we've elected those people.
Yeah, but you can't just chalk it up to that. The average person out there who is nearing retirement, who's worked for 50 years and put money away in a 401k or some other retirement account, who's now seeing it eroded, you can't fault them for not being politically engaged and not voting differently. Like, I mean,
then maybe the average person shouldn't be allowed to vote.
My point is that there are more stable, yes, it's a risk no matter what, but there are more stable options that people opt for, and they do that with a plan for retirement. And so you can't just sit here and be like, well, you shouldn't have. Like, people were investing in their retirement.
They say that all the time to millennials: pull yourself up by your bootstraps, stop buying avocado toast. Maybe boomers should stop buying avocado toast. Stop going to
those millennials.
They need to stop. Maybe they need to cut back on their lifestyles a little bit, rather than voting for people that are just going to print more money and give them more stuff and make their lives, enrich their lives at the expense of their grandchildren and grandchildren. It's not like the system fucking sucks, and it's their fault for voting for it.
I don't disagree, but I just think that you can't just chalk it up to that, because people
they chalk it up to that anytime
but we're talking about younger people. They have decades upon decades to make up the difference. We're talking about people who are nearing retirement, who have a strategy for what their retirement account sits at, for how long it can make them last when they're not working. We're not talking about millennials who have 40 years to make up whatever is lost. We're talking about, or to buy a home, or to whatever the case is. We're about people who are nearing retirement who had a nest egg or whatever it was in a rather comfortable diversified 401k or something like that are now seeing some of those gains eroded. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, but the problem that Brad's illuminating here, which I agree with, is that in order to enable the stock market to go up 7.5% per year so that you reach your target gains annually so that you can live that life, we have to print and spend a whole bunch of money, because that's how it was achieved the past 20, 30, 40 years, is spending or printing and spending. So yes, we can't just chalk it up all to that, but at some point we're going to have to, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And I think Trump, to his credit, is trying to solve that even at the margins with this tariff policy. I don't know that it's going to work. I'm just saying at least he's trying something a little bit different than, let's just print it. Let's just print more money. Let's just drop rates to zero and print more money. And that'll make the stock market go up and these boomers will be okay. Because that's just passing it on to us to deal with. And it's going to be a worse problem. And it's going to be a much worse problem. So I appreciate his attempt to address it, but I don't know that it's going to work because I'm not an expert. And if you listen to Douglas Murray, you're not allowed to talk about things unless you're an expert. How about that for a tangent?
Well, all I know is that Fidelity has sent me, I think, 3 emails in the past 3 days that say, we're here for you during this time of economic uncertainty. And I'm like, in what way? Like, how are you here for? You going to give me more money? Like, how are you here for me?
Put your money in Bitcoin.